Last Tuesday, I sat through a hypnotherapy session and listened to what happened that night. She was roped, there's no doubt about it. She kept it a secret in fear that I would kill him and get locked up, so she lied to herself and she believed that lie. When my cousin decided to become a pastor shortly after I got out, she saw it as him trying to redeem himself. She believed her lie. It made me cry because I destroyed everything and she was suffering this entire time. Jocelyn told me it's okay to feel guilty, but it feels worse than that. To be honest, if Marisol told me that my cousin roped her after I got out of prison, I will be doing a life sentence. If she would have told me the truth when I discovered that Luna wasn't biologically mine, I would have called her a liar at first. I would have still called her every name in the book. However, I would have eventually listened, with my cousin. I do not know what I would have done to him. Punching him with all my strength every time I saw him was a way to let him know how much he hurt me, but this, I don't know how deep into the rabbit hole I would have gone. There's a lot of would've. Everything looks different in hindsight. But I know if she just told me the truth and not told me to get over it, and it was a moment of weakness over and over again, I think things might be different. My wife has been getting nervous since I have been dead set on getting my ex better, and I told her that no matter what, I will always be faithful and love her. I just need to help my ex and give her a second chance in life. This made her feel better. Update. How things are going. Hello everyone. It's been a while and I would like to express my gratitude to all of you. My family continues to grow. I have 2 grandchildren, a boy and a girl, 2 sons and another daughter on the way. For a while I was guilt-stricken, being a bit depressed after being told what happened in Marisol's hypnotherapy session. From the explanation, she said no twice before freezing up for over a minute, and she begged him to stop, which was when my cousin finished and got off of her. The therapist said she rolled to her side and kept repeating over and over, "It was a mistake," and she convinced herself that it was a mistake. That truly impacted me. It caused this cloud of depression to hover over me. I blamed myself, I blamed my cousin, I began playing scenarios in my head, focusing on the could've, would've, should've, and it hits so hard. I told myself that my cousin was right, I did ruin her. I struggled to remember every family interaction to see if there were any signs. Anything that would have indicated that he did something to her, and there was. Whenever he was in the house, she was never in the same room with him or alone with him. I never noticed it, but now, everything is so vivid. Hindsight is a real bitch. Over the next few months, Luna and I sat in a family therapy session with Marisol. Like many of you, the therapist also asked me what I would have done if Marisol told me the truth when I got out. Honestly, I would have taken him out. If she would have told me years later, I would have beaten him by an inch of his life. Finally, I was asked if she would have told me during the quints. I said I wouldn't believe her at first. However, I would have asked, poked, prodded, and eventually found out the truth. The way I was feeling back then, I would have sent my cousin to the hospital, but I wouldn't have skipped town. I believe that things would have been dramatically different. Eventually, Marisol became consolable. She cried and apologized to both of us. As time went on, Marisol confessed that since she couldn't give me another child, she focused on being the best wife and partner she could be. And when I left, she admitted that when she looked at our daughter, all she saw was my cousin. I asked her why she allowed my cousin to still come to our home. She said that in a way he was my brother. I was always so proud of him, especially when he became a pastor. I spoke very highly of him. I always went to him for advice, and in her mind she saw him as a mistake, a brief moment of mistake that wouldn't go away, so she avoided him at every turn. Luna's panic attacks came back, a bit more aggressive, but now she's doing well. I officially adopted her last month. It was my birthday gift to her. She couldn't stop crying. She looked so happy. From what I heard, my cousin moved to Puerto Rico after getting fired. The bank had to let him go due to the vast number of people walking into the bank and making a scene. We placed a new trailer next to Luna for Marisol. She was released in mid-March, and at first it was awkward. Extremely awkward. I used to watch TV shows with scenarios like this. Having your ex-wife and current wife near one another. On TV they're friendly. That's TV. Jocelyn was very civil but made a clear boundary for Marisol to follow. However, Marisol told us that she doesn't want to stay on our property. She wants to stay near us, but all she wants is to be a mother and grandmother. She wants her and me to be friends, but distant friends, and I could respect that. A few times Jocelyn and Marisol butted heads, mostly on child rearing and cooking habits. My in-laws, like me, felt awkward about the entire situation, and it's not helping that my brother-in-law is a bit smitten with Marisol to the point that Jocelyn smacked him in the back of his head so she could knock some sense into him. It didn't work. The man is 2 years older than me, a widower of 2 years with 3 little girls. He's a really nice guy, a great wrangler, and he's been around my property more than I could care for just so he could try to talk to Marisol. I don't mind, but Jocelyn does. She's very overprotective of her big brother, and she feels that if the two of them do get together, she would not know if it was genuine. I could respect that. There was an incident on Luna's birthday shortly after giving her the adoption papers. I danced with Luna, and then with Jocelyn, and when Marisol tried to dance with me after dancing with Roberto and Jocelyn's brother, I respectfully declined. But it enacted Jocelyn's green-eyed monster, and she became a bit territorial. On Easter, we were watching the kids hunting eggs, and I overheard Marisol tell Jocelyn that she envied her. She was able to give me children. Jocelyn told her that Luna is my daughter. Despite the circumstances, Luna was mine, and she should always remember that. Marisol cried, and it was the first time I saw them getting along. This is where I'm at right now. Hopefully everything balances out. Update 2. Healing takes time and patience. Healing takes understanding. It also helps when there's a support system. My wife is my support system. Watching her with my daughter, the way she's there for her, and lately the way she's there for my ex-wife. Taking her to the survivor group meeting every week amazes me with how blessed I am. I sat her down and thanked her for everything she has done. I told her how lucky I am to be with her, and she gave me a wide smile before kissing me. She tells me that I saved her as well, reminding me about her very abusive ex and how trapped she was, then telling me her being there for me and my family was the least she could do. We sat watching TV while holding each other, and that was when I got an instant message from my cousin. I quickly blocked him. A week later, I get a letter from him and I burned it. Another week went by, and my wife tells me that her brother is heavily interested in asking her out. I personally do not care, but I told her that Marisol is a grown adult who is healing from a lot of trauma, and if he understands that and is willing to be patient, then I have no issues. A day later I get another letter from my cousin, and once again I burned it. Normally I would complain about how he found me. But I am named after my great-grandfather, whose name is extremely unique, and my last name is not that common, so finding me with a simple Google search wasn't that difficult. In mid-June we were enjoying a bonfire. I smiled at my daughter and son-in-law slow dancing to no music. My wife had her head resting on my chest, and I noticed my brother-in-law and Marisol kissing, and I smiled. A few days later my cousin tried to reach out to Luna on Facebook and she had a panic attack. Roberto blocked him, and later on that day while we were at the supermarket, my wife's ex came back to town and had the nerve to try to talk to her. I could see the fear in her eyes and I just reacted. It was a single punch, but I made sure it spoke volume. My wife, my rock, my support, was a quaking mess. The way she was shaking and terrified made me want to pounce on him, but the sheriff intervened and told him to leave before checking on Jocelyn. In the years we've been together, I've never seen her so terrified. While the sheriff was talking to us, I watched her ex walking past the window, and the bastard was smiling at me. The sheriff noticed and grabbed my arm, telling me to take Jocelyn home. During that drive she was quiet, and when we got home all she wanted was for me to hold her and don't let go. Luna was extremely concerned, and Jocelyn grabbed her as well and pulled her into the hug. None of us had ever seen her like this, and all I wanted to do was protect her. Later that day her brother showed up and told us that he and the sheriff paid her ex a visit and told him to leave. That didn't work. That man showed up at my shop the next day, threatening to sue me for assault. I just smiled at him. I told him in the 10 minutes he was running his mouth, I came up with a half-dozen ways to make him disappear. That shut him up. But for the next week and a half he kept testing me, testing us. That entire time Jocelyn was constantly afraid, thinking he might do something to her. To me, her brother is a game warden and warned him to stay away, and the SOB reported him to his supervisor. Every time I wanted to approach him Jocelyn begged me not to. However, she's my wife and I needed to protect her, but I told her that I will not approach him. Her father soon told me everything about that man. Everything he did to her. I told him that I was surprised that he never got rid of him, and he said around the time he was seriously contemplating it, his kneecaps got broken and he left town. He was smiling wide at me and I couldn't help but smile back. On the 29th we were preparing for the upcoming Western Idaho Fair when I got another letter from my cousin. This time I left it on my desk. Marisol approached me asking me if it was okay for her to pursue a relationship with Jocelyn's brother, and I told her it was, but only if she feels that she was ready. She shrugged, telling me that she doesn't know what she wanted, but she does like him and thought about him and his kids a lot. I told her I want her to find happiness, and she began to cry, but they were happy tears and I was happy for her. My phone rang. It was the sheriff. Jocelyn's ex and another man is in the hospital. His face is practically smashed in, and the other man had 2 broken eye sockets. I was preparing for him to accuse me, but then he told me that he had my son-in-law in holding. The sheriff said there were a lot of witnesses that came in my son-in-law's defense. I didn't want to hear it over the phone and I raced to his office. When I got there I saw Luna sitting by the front desk with a nasty bruise on her left cheek. The sheriff came to me and told me that according to all the witnesses, Jocelyn's ex purposely bumped into Roberto as he and Luna left the coffee shop. An argument started and Roberto tried to de-escalate the situation. Another man appeared and shoved Roberto, and Luna shoved the man and Jocelyn's ex back, prompting Jocelyn's ex to smack Luna and Roberto, placing the 2 men in the hospital. The sheriff is not pressing charges, but he had to inform Roberto's commander. After being released, Roberto had to leave for his 13-hour drive to Yuma immediately. Luna was blaming herself for pushing Jocelyn's ex. Jocelyn is trying to be there for her but is blaming herself for this entire situation. Marisol is surprisingly there for both of them, and the topping of this shit sandwich came in the other day.